Service accommodation is dead in 2020. Let's talk about it. So service accommodation pretty much depends on people traveling. Why is it bare windy, fam? What is going on? What's going on, guys? My name is Emmanuel and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to have a heart-to-heart. I brought you to my sanctuary. This is where I've had to be doing gym for the past, 8 weeks? How long we've been in lockdown? But I thought, guys, we're going to have a heart-to-heart today. I got nothing scripted. I put on my social media for anyone to ask me questions regarding the service accommodation business model. I know a lot of people follow me from the interview I did with Samuel Leeds a couple of months ago. So a lot of people have been messaging me in the DMs. How are you getting on? How are you doing? So for today, guys, I'm going to answer all your questions. And for everyone that sent in a question, I want to say thank you. I'm going to answer them right now. Cool. All right, guys, so if you're wondering what is a service accommodation, it's pretty much when you have a property and rather than having people pay you per month for the property, people actually pay you on a nightly basis. So the way you accomplish this is by having a property, you can put it on an online travel agent such as Booking.com, Airbnb, TripAdvisor, Trivago, and people book to stay at your place per night. The other way you can do this is if you have a contract with a business, a local business, a local hospital, anyone to do with contractors. Essentially, the contractors will rather stay at your place than stay at a hotel. So that's the service accommodation business model in a nutshell, just to get you up to speed. It's actually quite a simple question. Simply cash flow. The cash flow I was receiving from the SA business model far supersedes HMO. With HMO, you're actually very limited, but there are benefits to having a HMO over a SA, especially during a global lockdown, where we're in a position now where people can't travel. If you have a HMO, you're probably laughing right now. But when SA was booming, I was having a property where each property would be making me at least £1,000 a month in profit. And it's very hard to achieve at least £1,000 with a HMO unit. Your HMO unit would have to be quite a significant size. You might need about 6 or 8 people staying in the property. So that's why I chose SA. I mean, in SA, especially during the summer times, I was making £2,000–3,000 per property through SA. So that's why I chose SA, the cash flow. I would say yes, but people have done it without having a company. The reason being, guys, I prefer having a limited company. It's more professional, and especially if you want to work with a landlord, if it's a property that's not your own, you're going to need the landlord to give you their property and trust you. And if you are an individual approaching a landlord, you're most likely going to get rejected. However, if you have a limited company and you approach the landlord or the agent as a business, they're more likely going to take you seriously. So to answer your question, I would probably say yes. Get yourself a mentor. I mean, find someone who is actually doing it, who is actually making money, and learn from them. Even if it means buying their books, going to their free seminars, or becoming a mentee of theirs, even if it means you becoming good friends with a person, or even if it means paying to learn from them, essentially make sure they are where you want to be and learn from them. That's a great question. And first of all, I'd like to say your age does not matter. In fact, the fact that you're even younger, it gives you a head start on a lot of people who are into property today. So, if you're an 18-year-old, what should you be doing? You should be gaining as much knowledge as possible. There's a lot of resources on YouTube. There's a lot of resources on Amazon. So I would recommend buying as much books as you can about property. If you're 18, I wouldn't necessarily advise you splashing thousands of pounds on a training course. I would definitely recommend get as much books as you can, start gathering up as much information as you can. Go to a lot of networking events. Start developing on your networking skills, your one-to-one, your confidence. Acquire those skills, and then once you feel more confident, then you could probably go on to paying for mentorship or learning from someone who is where you want to be. So I hope that answers your question, but it's a great question. I'm currently in the middle of the biggest risk you can take with the service accommodation business model by having nobody stay at your property. The SA business model relies on people being able to travel and stay at your place for X amount of days. They come out or they check out and then someone else moves in. That's how it works. So when a lockdown is introduced and people can't travel, the place is pretty much empty. So the biggest risk with SA is pretty much having nobody stay at your place and the property is costing you money every single month. How do you overcome them? You've got to adapt. In order to overcome, you have to adapt. So what we decided to do, we realized the tourism market, the travel market is dead. It's pretty much dead right now. So one of the methods we did to overcome this tragedy that we're in right now, we reached out to the hospitals and the councils in the local areas of our properties, and we said to them, look, if you have any key workers or if you have any contractors that are traveling that need a place to stay, then we've got units in the area, we've got multiple properties in the area. If you need any help with accommodation, we are here to help. Now guys, this didn't come easy. We had to reach out to a lot, and when I mean a lot of hospitals in the area, but thankfully we managed to secure a great deal with one of the largest hospitals in Manchester, and that's what's keeping us afloat right now. So if it wasn't for that deal, guys, we'll be smoked right now. So to overcome, you have to adapt to whatever situation you find yourself in, and be bold, be confident, be brave, and just make up your mind that, look, I'm going to have to adapt, I'm going to die. So that's how we overcame. I don't think so. All we've had to do was completely change our business model. We no longer relied on the travel and the tourism industry. We reached out to contractors, we reached out to key services, and we've got tremendous relationships. We've got great relationships with these companies, these businesses, these contractors, these key workers. And even once lockdown is lifted, we're going to maintain that relationship. Yes, we're going to go back to the travel and tourism industry, but we're not going to be solely dependent on that industry just in case there's a second wave and we don't want to be in a position where we're stuck again. So that's how we've been able to adapt. But if you've relied on the travel industry only and that's your only means, then I would probably say, yeah, the SA business model is dead for you. But if you don't adapt, if you don't move on, your business will be over. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps up all the questions that we received. Thank you for sending your questions in. If you do want to do a SA business, I would say get started now, but be prepared to go through some hard times. Be prepared to adapt to any situation that you find yourself in. Look, don't put any limitations on yourself. Don't let the environment put limitations on yourself. Adapt or die, guys. Have that mentality. You've got to sink or swim. And I've decided to swim, and we are keeping afloat. So guys, please like the video, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, stick around. We've got loads more content coming for you. I appreciate you guys. Peace. I'm gonna do a quick pump thing. Quick pump for the YouTube algorithm, yeah? Quick pump. All right, that's cool.